whether the reapproachment between Iran and Saudi Arabia might bring peace to the West Asia. So what was the main challenge faced by the China for mediating this negotiation? So in recent times there is a big development happened in the West Asia region. So the two regional rivals have planned to again restore the diplomatic ties after 2016. I mean the regional rivals, the Iran and Saudi Arabia have planned to restore the diplomatic ties after they have signed some sort of agreement to ease the tensions. So this was negotiated by the emerging power China. So while seeing this pact, there is some sort of tensions easing in the West Asia, as these regional rivals have involved in various conflicts in various regions in the West Asia. So these two powers, I mean the Iran and Saudi Arabia, are the main rivals in the region. So these countries are Islamic countries, but they have different Islamic factions. So Islam is divided into two. One is Shia Muslims, another one is Sunni Islam. So the Saudi Arabia is largely dominated by the Sunni Islamic people, and the Iran is largely dominated by the Shia Islamic people. So it's a kind of conflict not related to the border conflict like India and China, not related to the regional conflict like India and Pakistan, but it's related to the civilizational conflict. So the root is from the civilizational conflict. So from the beginning they are the regional rivals, especially after 1979 the Iran become a theocratic country after the Khomeini take over the country, and Saudi Arabia right from the beginning they are the monarchs. So these two countries are the regional rivals right from the beginning, and both countries today are involved in various regional conflict. Like Iran is using their Hezbollah group as a proxy, especially in Yemen they are supporting the Houthi rebels, and Saudi Arabia is fighting against the Houthi rebels. In Yemen there exists some sort of conflict, and Syria, the Iranian government is aligned with the Bashar al-Assad regime, because Bashar al-Assad is this Shia, belongs to the Shia group, and the majority of the people belongs to the Sunni group. So the Saudi Arabia supports the Sunni group in this Syria. So in various West Asia region they are involving in various conflict. But these truce, I mean this peace pact to restore the negotiations between Iran and Saudi Arabia, and they are also planned to involve in various commercial cooperation and economic cooperation. So this opened some sort of optimistic atmosphere between the countries. But this was a temporary agreement, and no one can guarantee how long this agreement will exist, because these kind of rivals will involved in any conflict at any time. So this is a kind of temporary agreement reached between both the sides, and of course now the region is entering into a kind of regional stability due to this agreement. But if you see whether this agreement is a kind of it addresses both the sides or not, no, it doesn't addresses all the concerns. This is a kind of agreement which happened due to the repercussions of various geopolitical conflicts. For example, see Russia-Ukraine war. So due to the Russia-Ukraine war, there was a kind of threat to the comprehensive security of many countries. Food security, there is a threat to the food security, and there is a threat to the supply chain disruption in supply chain resilience, and various the inflation is source in many countries due to this war. So the Saudi Arabia is also affected due to the Russia-Ukraine war, and due to the supply chain disruption, and due to the food security. So due to this war many countries are affected, and Saudi Arabia is also one of those countries. And if you see Iran is under the US sanctions for many years, and 2018 again the Donald Trump imposed the sanctions on Iran. So Iran is under the economic sanctions, so their economy was largely affected. So these countries have various threats, I mean the comprehensive threats. Apart from the traditional security threat, they have the comprehensive security threat like food security, and the Iran wants to again recalibrate their economy because they are suffering from huge financial economic distress during 2019 due to these sanctions. So they want to ease some kind of conflict in this region, because they want to focus on their domestic issues kind of things. So this Chinese mediation have a big victory to these both the countries to again recalibrate their agenda and to focus on their security, other kind of comprehensive security. So this might be. And another one important thing is many are saying that it is a kind of strategic alignment, but it is not a kind of strategic alignment. It is a kind of strategic de-escalation, because due to some sort of issues, I mean due to some sort of the comprehensive security threat, the countries have realigned, but there is not permanent deal reached between both the countries. I mean to stop the conflict in Syria, to stop the conflict in Yemen. There was no permanent deal reached, because it is not a kind of easy task to reach the deal. I mean to end the conflict in various regions. So this is a kind of deal which was mediated by China for the temporary cause, And what are the challenges faced by the China as they have mediated this deal? So this is a big victory for China, because in 2021 the US have involved in the negotiation to end the conflict, but they have failed. In 2022 I think Oman have involved, and now China have involved, and it is a victory for China because both countries have accepted this. Both the regional rivals have accepted this, but in future China will face a large kind of repercussions, because eventually this kind of agreement is dragged China into the power politics. So China have been dragged into the power politics. If any kind of escalation happen, tensions escalated between the rivals, or any kind of attack happened, then China should again involved in this. And there also be a chance for some sort of tensions between China either with Saudi Arabia or China either with Iran. So China is pushed into the power politics. Like US also involved in earlier like this. So this is a kind of opportunity as well as challenges faced by the China after this negotiation. So many are saying India should involve the conflict. This is a big opportunity for India to negotiate the agreement between both the countries. One important India's policy is like India will not involved in any kind of mediation between any other powers, because India know it will eventually drag them into the power politics, and India will not accept this kind of fact. Especially many countries are pressuring India to mediate the Russia-Ukraine war, to bring an end to the war, because India is capable. India have good ties with both Russia and Ukraine, but India is not ready to engage, because we have some kind of history which we don't want to again do that. So India doesn't reacted to this, and US have welcomed this move, because US policy turned towards the Indo-Pacific, because their priority want to counter the China in the Indo-Pacific region. So at first during the Cold War their priority was West Asia, but they have subsequently de-escalating their troops from the West Asia, especially after the defeat in Afghanistan, and now also they are cutting their troops in Iraq. So US priority turned from West Asia to this Indo-Pacific region. So they want some sort of regional stability and peace in West Asia. So this peace is attained by China. Of course, US have welcomed. Okay, this is the kind of peace they needed, because if the conflict again re-emerges in West Asia, then it is a big headache for US again to involve. And now they are using the Israel as a proxy state, using the Abraham Accords, and they have restored diplomatic ties with Israel, have restored diplomatic relations, started diplomatic relations with the UAE and many Arab countries. So it is a kind of diplomatic win for Israel. If it is a kind of diplomatic win for Israel, it's also a win for this United States. So this was the regional development happened, but no one knows how much time this agreement will continue. Either it will break earlier, but China have opened a new chapter of history due to this agreement. We can see how China will manage these kind of challenges which will face in the future. Thank you.